Here too soon. You weren't supposed to come here for another month. What the hell are we going to do with you for a month? It's not time for you to go back. So they looked at the papers. Where can we assign you to? So we'll assign you to the printing shop. So go over to the printing shop. It's down this street and over here, and then they'll give you a job for a month. So I go down to the printing shop, and here's the sergeant who's in charge of the thing. And in the back, there are Japanese actually doing the printing, and the sergeants here are 2 or 3 other GIs, and they're playing cards and taking it easy. The Japanese are back there printing the paper. And he introduces me to the sergeant in charge, and he says, here's the fellow who's, you got to give him a job for a month. So the sergeant thinks for a minute, what am I going to do with this guy? He says, well, I've got it. Look, he goes back and he comes up with this gallon jug, and he hands it to me, and he says, I want you to go to the SOS. That's a place of entertainment where you have coffee and everything there.
The SOS?
So,
What does it stand for?
Not SOS.
no, it's not SOS. I forget what it is, but anyway, there are pool tables and ping pong tables and a place of recreation. And so, go there every morning, get this filled up with coffee, and report back here at 9 o'clock. Leave the coffee, and I don't care what you do for the rest of the day. That the rest of the day is yours. I don't care. So that was my job for a month. Every morning I showed up, I got the coffee filled, I went over there, then I went and played ping pong, pool, baseball, everything. So that's not the end of the story, because that's wonderful. I had a month of just fun time. So you gotta have a place to sleep, you gotta be assigned to a room. So they assigned me to room 202. I go up to 202, and there's 2 GIs there who live there all the time in this room, and I'm gonna share the room with them for a month. And what do? Well, let's see. We work for the Air Transport Command. We're in this office where we fill in the names of all the people who are gonna fly home. Don't have to get on a ship, who can fly home. And so I'm there for a month, and after a few weeks we get to be friendly, and they say, don't worry, when your time comes up, we're going to get you on a plane and fly you home.
That's beautiful.
So sure enough, they signed me up. The night before we scheduled to fly out, somebody gets the bright idea, let's drive out to the airport and see the plane we're going to fly on. So we get in a Jeep and we drive out to the airport, and on the way we see this fire up ahead, and it's our plane with one of the engines on fire. But they fixed it, of course, or they gave, I don't know whether we got a different plane or another plane or not, but then off we went. And so that's what Leo's talking about, I think, right?
Law of attraction.
And then you just have to fly home.
Yep.
And how was your landing in Hawaii?
Oh, well, that's another thing, yeah. There were 5 stops on the way. The last one is Hawaii, and we couldn't leave the airport, but I got the first glass of real milk that I had, because they didn't have real milk in Japan at the time. It was just powdered milk. But it's a 12-hour flight from Hawaii to the States with this 4-engine plane. There were no jet planes then. 4-engine plane, and take off, and we're flying, and everybody's sound asleep as we're approaching California. And somebody taps me, and I look out the window, and sure enough, the outboard engine on the right-hand side is dead. We're flying on three engines. So the pilot comes on and says, don't worry, we can fly with just 3 engines, no problem. But 2 things happened. As we came in over the coast, I didn't know about such a thing, but it was, maybe I'm looking back on it, I'm exaggerating, but because it was at least hundreds, if not thousands, of ships all lashed all together. Evidently they had been troop ships used to send people across, GIs, millions of GIs across, but they were all together in a group, just resting there, just all together. What a sight to see, to fly over them. The mass of them all tied together. So anyway, then we approached the airport, and all along the runway, they've got fire engines and all waiting just in case that engine goes out before we land. But we come in and boom, just as they touch the ground, boom, the vibration starts the engine.
Oh.
And it was it made a good landing. There was all kinds of things.
What about that, what about that other scary landing where you thought you were gonna land on the
Oh.
water?
Gee, talk about, I'm sure they could tell you about this, but they don't, because they like to scare the hell out of you. Because on Kwajalein Atoll, the runway juts out into the ocean, way out into the ocean, miles of whatever it takes to land, juts out into the ocean. So when you're landing, you don't see the island itself. You don't see anything but water underneath you. So you're coming down, I'm sitting by the window and I'm coming down, you see the window, you see the water, and you're coming down, before you know it, you think if they made a mistake, we're gonna crash, and everybody's there. If you haven't done it before, you're scared to death, but at the last second as the thing goes down, the runway appears underneath the wheels. Oh, what a scare. You think you're landing in the water. At the last second, that thing streaks underneath you when you land.
Huh.
Scared to death, you think they're coming. And I'm sure they know this is gonna happen, but they must get such fun out of scaring the hell out of you, that you think they're gonna go in the water.
No, it's like the first time you come into